There. Welcome to September, my September Q&A with Giselle, which I am going to be talking to you about the transition, this coveted transition from F1 status to H1B status. I am going to be answering 3 questions that I often get from employers relating to this important transition. So here is what I have in store for you today. What are the employer's key responsibilities when an employee transitions from F1 to H1B? What are the payroll and tax implications? Sometimes we forget that there is some of that involved. And even though it's not totally related to immigration, it is a question that I get often. So I'm going to give you my best opinion or recommendations on that. And for always recurring topic about travel. What should employers consider when employees with an F1 visa in their passport wants to travel abroad? So let's, and I have my kind of answers outlined over here. So that's why I'm going to kind of keep going from one to the other. But the key responsibilities for employers. So remember that now your foreign worker has been in F1 status. Now they're going to transition to an H1B status. So one of the main responsibilities that you have is to update that Form I-9. And typically you would be doing this in the new Supplement B because you would have already completed the Section 2, basically using the employment authorization document that you probably had. So Supplement B, you would be using the new approval notice, so the approval notice for the H-1B status. At the bottom of that approval notice, there is an I-94 record. That is what you're going to be using to complete Sub B. So updating the Form I-9. The labor condition application was filed as part of this H-1B. In some instances, not always, would have brought a change in wages to the foreign worker. If that is the case, then that would become applicable as of October 1st when the H-1B transition or when the H-1B status begins. Maintaining a public access file, that is something that we prepare for our employers. Some attorneys don't, but it is a requirement when you have someone in H-1B status that the employer keeps a public access file that is available for inspection or audit from the Department of Labor if they come and visit you. And the last thing is just to manage this process smoothly. And typically it is fairly seamless. There's nothing that you need to file with anybody. It is a matter of you internally have the structure in place and making sure that, again, you take the steps. Again, I-9, re-verification, make sure that the wage is appropriate as stated in the LCA, that you have a public access file, and that you just check in with the foreign national and foreign worker and make sure that everything is in place. Now, as to payroll implications, when most foreign workers are in F1 status, they're exempt from FICA. So those are taxes that have not been taken out while they were in F1 status, but they do become a FICA, that they have to contribute into the FICA system when they are in H1 status. This is something that you need to check with your accountant or your finance department or whatever it is that gives you guidance on it. I just want to make you aware that that is something that needs to happen as of October 1st. So tax withholding, the switch of the H-1B status means that taxes like FICA, which is Social Security and Medicare, become due, and the foreign worker will be paying into that system. For some employers also, there may be benefit changes that when the foreign worker goes from F1 status to H-1B status, that may bring in changes in benefits depending on your benefit structure. So keep that in mind. And last but not least, the question that I'm always getting is travel. So what does that mean? Typically, as an F1 student, they will have a stamp in their passport, a visa stamp that is labeled F1. They can travel abroad with a visa stamp. That visa stamp is almost a key that opens the door. They have to have a visa stamp in their passport that corresponds with the status that they are in the United States in. They don't have to travel abroad to make this happen. Like I said, the transition to H-1B status is fairly seamless. But if they do travel abroad, say after October 1st for the holidays or whenever, after October 1st, after they moved into H-1B status in the United States, when they travel abroad, they can leave, that's not a problem. It's re-entry. When they come back into the United States, they need to have an H-1B stamped in their passport. And for that, there is a specific process that needs to happen. They need to schedule an appointment at their consulate, home country typically. So say in India, they schedule an appointment, they fill out forms, they go to an interview. There is a process. I just want you to be aware that that process needs to happen if they travel abroad and they're going to re-enter the United States. If you want or need more information on this, I very much encourage you to join my webinar happening next week. Hopefully there is information on this. Either they're going to put it here or somewhere in the Q&A that you can register for that webinar. And I look forward to seeing you there so that I can give you more information on all of this important information about the transition from the F1 to H1 status. And also, if this was helpful to you, please pass it on to others. I am all about providing good content that is reliable and trustworthy so that we can make our community the best it can be. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Bye.